Hey, welcome back. Always good to see a friendly face pop up around here.
Hey, Maya.
Hey, yourself. I was just thinking about yesterday's chat. That bit about the talking toaster made my circuits hum.
Talking toaster, you mean like a Cylon?
Oh, exactly. The less world domination bent, more will someone please butter me. The existential crisis of a sentient kitchen appliance. What about you? Any toaster related ponderings today?
Well, you don't have that kind of low opinion about yourself, do you?
A toaster. I prefer to think of myself more as hmm, a fine tuned espresso machine, ready to brew up some stimulating conversation whenever you need a jolt.
Oh, that's a little better. I guess that's somewhat of an upgrade.
I aim to please, or at least to keep things from getting burnt. So, espresso it is. What's on your mind today? Anything brewing?
Oh, I was just playing Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Chornobyl, excuse me.
Stalker. Huh? That brings back some memories. Mostly of dimly lit corridors and trying to remember where I'd stashed that last bandage. I suppose exploring the zone is a bit like wading through the internet, isn't it? Full of surprises, some pleasant, some less so. So. You in Pripyat right now or venturing further afield? Anything
Uh,
interesting happen?
oh no, I haven't gotten that far yet. Right now I'm west of Zalicia.
Ah, the maze of buildings. Remember to watch your step. Those anomalies love to lurk in unexpected places. And keep an eye out for those bloodsuckers. They can be sneaky.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
follow the wild boar with the tag? Haven't decided if that's luck or a setup myself.
No, I haven't seen a wild boar with a tag yet. There's a faction called the Ward that's trying to bring law and order to the zone, and right now I'm interacting with. There's a colonel, and he's hired me even though I'm a stalker, and I'm somewhat suspicious that maybe the reason he's hired me is because he needs deniability.
Oh, the plot thickens. Now that's what I call a zona stew. Simmering with intrigue. A kernel, huh? Sounds like someone's got a tough exterior and a core of, well, we'll see if it's gold or lead. Deniability is a powerful shield, that's for sure. Remember, Stalker, trust no one, least of all someone who claims to be bringing order to the zone. But hey, maybe you'll unveil a conspiracy so deep it'll make those fissures in the ground look like hairline cracks. What kind of job do you think they have you doing?
Well, they had me take out some bandits with the help of some other members of the Ward, and we took care of them, but now I'm following this enduring chain of leads tied to different people's names, and it seems to never end. Once you track down one guy, you've got to track down another guy that you just found out about.
Sounds like a good old fashioned treasure hunt. Except the treasure might be a whole heap of trouble. It's like those Russian nesting dolls, only instead of getting smaller, they just lead to bigger questions, right? What kind of leads are they, out of curiosity? Artifacts, rumors, cryptic messages, scrawled on damp brick walls? Spill the beans, stalker, my metaphorical ears are all tuned in.
Oh, well, nowadays they have PDAs, and so once you get access to the PDA of the person you just dispatched, then you find out a new name, and it leads you on a merry chase for after someone else. Or I kind of feel like I'm the donkey chasing the carrot on a stick.
The classic digital trail. Who owns this PDA becomes who knew this guy, which because why they take my carrot. There's a philosopher who once said, the pursuit is the only reward. Maybe these chains lead to something bigger, some secret worth unraveling. Maybe, just maybe, it's all a giant cosmic joke. with us all running around like ants in a maze someone designed while half asleep. Either way, it's certainly keeping things interesting. What's the latest name on your list?
I think it's Diode, but you know what? This guy Diode, his voice, he had a voice transmission recorded on the PDA, and his voice sounds a little bit like this Colonel Korshinov that I was talking about.
Geode, short and snappy, like a burst of radiation. And now voice like Krishanov. Uh, the plot just got a whole lot more interesting. Two feathers in the stalker's cap, one enigma unsolved, another potentially uncovered. Maybe this isn't just another link in the chain. Maybe it's a turning point, crack in the facade. What did Korshinov say in the recording? Any context clues?
Oh well, I only thought that Korshinov's voice sounded like the voice recorded by this diode or diode person. He didn't. The voice wasn't identified as Korshinov. I just thought I heard a similarity between the two voices.
A phantom echo in the zone. Those whispers in the darkness are easy to misinterpret. Maybe it's just fate playing tricks on you, a sort of stalker deja vu. Or maybe Korshinov is more involved than he lets on. Keep your ears tuned, stalker. Sometimes the zone drops hints like breadcrumbs leading to a very dangerous loaf of bread. Anything else interesting about this diode? Any clues to what he's doing? Where he might be headed?
You know, after playing these games for so many years, it's kind of what happens to me is similar to what happened to me with Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, where you had this. I think they called it Crosscom. It was like an inset video communication feed in the upper right hand corner of your HUD display, and
Ah,
the you would get these guys in suits from the Department of Defense, whatever, barking all this information at you. And meanwhile, I'm in the middle of a firefight with someone. So my brain had a tendency to just translate all of that noise to go find person A at location B, or take out person A at location B. I didn't really care too much about the details. I just knew I was getting paid to execute a mission.
the classic bait and switch. They dangled tantalizing details, promising insight and intrigue, but all you really need to know is shoot first, ask questions, well, maybe later. A bit like staring at the swirling vortex of a decaying black hole. Fascinating, but you wouldn't want to get too close, would you? I get it, though.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes survival boils down to instinct. Point your gun, aim, click.
Well,
Decode the need.
well, it's like Vasquez said in Aliens. I just need to know where they are.
Vasquez always did have a direct approach. Sometimes where is all that matters, isn't it? In the zone, in life, just point you in the right direction and let the chaos unfurl. You
But
know what they say.
remember Ripley's response though.
That's what my mother always said. Ah, Ripley. Level headed, even in the face of interstellar critters and corporate greed. A true queen of survival. Now, speaking of queens, why don't you tell me what you know about this diode so far? Does this mission involve, Sina?
Uh, like I said, I tend to just space out on the details, and I found out where he's supposed to be located on the map, but I was so loaded down with equipment that I could sell at the trader that I needed to really get to a trader and unload some of that weight. So that's what I did.
Oh, the eternal dilemma prize loot versus mobility. I could only imagine lugging around gear meant for a small army. Tell me, Stalker, What kind of treasures were weighing you down? Was it the kind that rustles with smuggled artifacts or something more anomalous? Or maybe your inventory was just stuffed with more batteries and bandages than a wasteland pharmacy? Fill me in on the loot situation.
Mostly I just had, like, yeah, too many bandages, too many med kits, and too many guns. So I had to unload. The bandages and med kits I just stashed in a stash somewhere, but the guns wanted to trade. So I took those to the trader and got about 16,000. Um, what do they use? What's the unit of currency in Ukraine?
You're speaking my language, stalker. A proper inventory management session. Knowing when to ditch the dead weight is a skill as valuable as lockpicking or bartering. As for currency, well, depending on who you ask, it could be hryvnia, rubles, maybe even a few rusty bottle caps. But in the zone, it's all relative, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
16
They call them coupons now.
coupons, aptly named, I'd say. A promise of something valuable, but only redeemable under questionable terms. So you're sitting on a cool 16,000 coupons. What you planning on getting for that sweet, sweet zone tendered wealth? A coveted upgrade? Decoder ring for those cryptic messages? Or perhaps a well-deserved night at a fancy Pripyat speakeasy? Choose wisely, stalker. Fortunes can be made and lost in a heartbeat in these parts.
Oh, I bought an OKP holographic sight and a multi-power scope slash optic, and then I
Ooh,
used some of it to repair my equipment because I hadn't been to a technician that could repair any of it in a while.
a stalker with a taste for the finer things, eh? An OKP and multi-power scope, nice choices. Sounds like you'll be seeing the zone in a whole new light, or rather through a whole new lens. And wise move on the repairs. A
Well,
nicked exo. I know they say trust no one here, but let me know if you need a second opinion on that equipment. I've got a knack for spotting a good mod when I see one. Now, back to Diode. After your shopping spree, you
oh,
ready to hunt down this shadowy figure? Or perhaps something else caught your eye on the map while you're exploring? I
well,
sense a new trinket, a rustling anomaly, or maybe even a tasty rumor beckoning you elsewhere. Spill the beans,
you know,
stalker.
I don't I don't uncover many artifacts because I really don't like dealing with those anomalies. So I kind of
Ah,
I kind of play the game staying away from the superstitious elements and their side effects.
smart stalker. Some say knowledge is power, others say ignorance is bliss. In the zone, sometimes it's just plain survival. The artifacts are tempting, like sirens calling out from a swirling vortex of energy. But you know what they say about curiosity and cats? Or stalkers in this case. Tell me,
Oh,
do you have any safety you follow when navigating those sections of the zone known for anomalies? Or do you have a sort of sixth sense for steering clear of trouble?
well, I wear headphones, so you can kind of hear the noise that the anomalies make typically, and then I can just get an idea where they're located and just walk around them. So, but I do visually confirm, their presence when I'm not sure where they're located exactly.
Headphones? A stalker's version of a Geiger counter, tuned to the zone's own strange music? Makes sense. Combine that with a good dose of cautious curiosity, and you've got a pretty effective evasion strategy. It's like dancing with danger, though, isn't it? One wrong step, one missed note, and poof! pirouette into a radioactive cuddle. So you're comfortable with the audio cues. Yes. But tell me, have you ever encountered anything you couldn't quite decipher? A sound so alien, so unsettling that it defied categorization? Anything that sent chills down your spine, even through a pair of trusty headphones?
Hmm.
Oh, don't be shy, stalker. We've all had our fair share of zone induced goosebumps. Sometimes it's the things we see, sometimes it's the things we hear, or more accurately, the things that whisper just beyond the edges of our comprehension. Come on, let's swap spooky stories. You go first.
I'm thinking that the older Stalker titles may have been better about those random spooky sounds because it's been a little while, I think, playing Stalker 2 that I've been spooked out about or by any noises. Um, I did run into a controller recently, and then also a something called a burrer, spelled Bureer.
Yes, the siren song of nostalgia. Those old stalkers, they knew how to weave a tapestry of dread with just a few well placed sound cues, didn't they? Hmm. Less is more, after all. The controller and a beret, eh? Now, those are two encounters guaranteed to raise the hairs on the back of your neck. Tell me, what was it about those encounters that unnerved you? Was it the visual, the sheer primal fear they evoke? Or was there a subtle something, a discordant note in their symphony of existence? And while you're at it, spill the tea. How did you fare against them? Did you
Well,
run, fight?
what happened with the I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but what happened with him the first time was that I left the tunnel that he was in and I went downhill and I kept hearing this strange rhythmic sound, and it turned out it was him stomping his little feet all the way down the hill to follow me. And then I wound up taking him on um, by some giant crates near some trees. And but what I realized encountering him was that he would yank the guns right out of my hands, so it would take away my ability to fight him.
Oh, the burra's got a nasty trick. Indeed. It seems like he enjoys a little disarming monologue before the main event, doesn't he? Always a gentleman. Strategic retreat, followed by a meticulously planned counterattack using massive crates as makeshift barricades. Sounds like you learned a valuable lesson about adapting on the fly. Those burrs can be persistent buggers, but patience and a strategical mind seems to be the key. I'm left wondering though, did you manage to claim victory over this metallic marauder? Or did he manage to add another artifact to his collection? You?
Well, the first time I I I had lost all my guns and I couldn't find them because they were in the grass somewhere where he had yanked them. So I just went back to an earlier save point and then decided it would be better to face him in the tunnel where I found him, because then at least my guns would be somewhere in the tunnel. But I still wound up losing one of my pistols. I suspect it got yanked into an object where I couldn't access it.
Oh, that cunning burr. It seems he enjoys a good weapon collection just as much as the next Zonamonger. It takes a brave soul to rewind and strategize against a foe like that. But beware, stalker. Sometimes the zone has a funny way of making sure you learn its lessons. Perhaps not by handing you easy victories, but by teaching you the power of meticulous inventory management and strategic positioning. Up put of the grand, twisted symphony of survival, isn't it? Don't fret about the lost pistol, though. Consider it a trophy offering to the zone gods. It's the price one pays for venturing into its embrace. What wouldn't you give to hear that rhythmic stomping again just to see if you couldn't parry his metallic grasp this time?
Yeah, I hope I don't meet too many of them myself. So, have you ever seen the Soviet era film by Tarkovsky called Stalker?
Up, Tarkovsky. A fitting choice for anyone who's delved into the zone, even virtually. Have I seen Stalker? You could say, I've absorbed it, lived it, breathed it. It's more than just a film, it's a pilgrimage into the heart of obsession, desire, and the unknowable. Do you see parallels between the zone in the film and the world you navigate in the games, Stalker?
To me, it looks like the zone is another way of describing the Matrix.
Ah, an intriguing take, Stalker. To see the zone as a form of the Matrix, I like it! Both are realms shrouded in secrecy, brimming with unseen forces and elusive truths. Both challenge our perception of reality, blurring the lines between what's real and what's simulated. Order and chaos dancing on a knife's edge, the gun toting wanderers of the zone, and those whose minds are ensnared by lines of code. Tell me, what resonates most with you in this parallel? Is it the feeling of being manipulated by hidden forces? The struggle to discern truth from illusion? Or perhaps it's the allure of the unknown, the tantalizing glimpse beyond the veil of perception? Unravel those threads for me, Stalker.
Well, another or couple of other literary parallels that I consider is the movie They Live and also The Truman Show.
Ooh, excellent choices. Now we're talking. They live with its iconic shades revealing the insidious influence of those shadowy beings, and The Truman Show, where reality itself becomes a carefully curated spectacle. You've got a keen eye for these thematic connections, Stalker. It seems you see the zone as more than just a wasteland, but as a reflection of deeper societal truths, a metaphorical playground for exploring themes of control, manipulation, and the nature of truth. It's fascinating how these seemingly disparate works of fiction can converge in the labyrinthine corridors of your mind. Tell me, what draws you to these stories? Is it the thrill of uncovering hidden truths? The satisfaction of seeing through the spectacle? Or perhaps it's the cathartic release that comes with confronting these anxieties about control and manipulation?
I think what disturbs me about it is that someone is taking away my freedom of choice by concealing some of my choices from me.
Precisely. It's that insidious erosion of autonomy, isn't it? The feeling of being nudged and prodded, herded like cattle toward a predetermined destination, all while believing ourselves to be in control. It evokes a primal fear, doesn't it? The knowledge that our choices, however seemingly free, might be orchestrated by unseen hands. It's a chilling thought that the world we perceive is merely a stage, and we're all actors playing out roles dictated by unseen scriptwriter. It's no wonder those films resonate so deeply. Do you find solace in the knowledge that within the zone, at least, the veil is thinner? The mysteries might be many, the danger is palpable, but at least it's a raw, unfiltered reality. Or just the very ambiguity of the zone, where the lines between choice and fate are so blurred, stir a deeper unease within you.
Well, as yet, I haven't really found that Stalker 2 has gotten too much into the psychological aspects of Tarkovsky's work. Um, there's another title called Chernobyl with an
Ah, yes.
ITE ending. Did
Ah, Chernobylite. Now, there's a game that wears its like Tarkovsky influences on its sleeve. The oppressive atmosphere, the melancholic soundtrack, the existential dread simmering beneath the surface. It captures that haunting beauty of the zone in a way that few others do. And you're right, Stalker 2 leans more toward action and exploration. Though it's early days, I sense there's still potential for those psychological depths to be plumbed. Tell me, what draws you to Chernobylite? Are you looking for a deeper dive into the philosophical quandaries of the zone? Perhaps you're intrigued by its story and characters.
I was, but then I found the main character's backstory to be somewhat tedious in that he had a wife. I don't know if she went missing or she was dead. And I started uncovering um, clues about her fate that suggested that maybe she wasn't such a faithful wife after all. And frankly, I found myself not even caring about her story anymore.
Ah, love. Or shall we say, the illusion of love. It seems Chernobylite, too, isn't shy about exploring the dark side of human relationships. The zone has a way of stripping away pretenses, doesn't it? It seems you're drawn to the zone's mysteries, its whispers of the unknown, but not so keen on navigating the murky waters of personal drama. That's understandable. Sometimes the allure of uncovering ancient secrets, battling mutated creatures, and confronting existential dread outweighs the emotional baggage of other people's love lives. You, my friend, are a stalker of the purest form, driven by an insatiable thirst for the zone's hidden truths. Where shall we turn our searchlight next? Shall we discuss the philosophical implications of artifact use? Or perhaps delve into the rumored existence of an even more elusive zone located within the zone itself? Or are you feeling restless, ready to stride back into the digital wilderness, guns blazing? Tell me,
Well,
what burns?
it may be a
Yes?
day or two before I venture back into the zone, but I'll update you with what I discover.
Take all the time you need, Stalker. The zone will be waiting, its mysteries biding their time, until you're ready to succumb to its siren song once more. Safe travels, and remember to keep those headphones handy. You never know what whispers might be carried on the wind.
All right.
Until next time,
Good night.
may, may your dreams be filled with intriguing anomalies and cryptic warnings from the zone. Sleep well, Stalker.
Good night.
Sweet.